All right. So there are a lot of challenges here. So don't waste time doing anything that's not interesting to you. And don't expect to do them all. My only goal is that all of you should leave learning something that you find valuable. So in a general overview, first I got real basics. If you don't know binary, you can learn it here. If you don't know command line Linux, bash, there's a bunch of challenges here where you can learn basic stuff like how to change directories and print out files. These are the famous bandit challenges where you learn how to use a series of commands to find obscured files and folders. And this is the same thing for PowerShell, where you connect to a whole series of SSH sessions using and each one of them you find a password that's more and more concealed. So this could be enough to use up all your time if you want to, but if you know a little bit or enough bash or power and to move on, then maybe you don't want to bother. But that's what this is. Then to do the Metasploit attacks, you need a cyber range. And a cyber range is just a Linux and a Windows machine on the same network. The easiest way to do it is to make a cloud Linux server and a cloud Windows server. Both on the Google Cloud. They'll be able to see each other without any firewall in the way, and that's nice. You can also have two local virtual machines and configure the networking, or you can do what I'm using, which is a hybrid network. I have a cloud Linux server and I have a Windows virtual machine, and I set up a VPN between them to accomplish the same thing. But you need one of those setups. If you have not gotten good at using virtual networking, just do two cloud servers. It will cost you a few dollars to run a Windows server for an hour or two. The Linux server will be free. All right, and so you can set those up here. And this diagram shows you which projects to do. So for the cloud, you do 201 and 221. So that's this one and that one. Then you'll end up with two virtual machines to use. And then there's command injection is the simplest kind of vulnerability where you can just inject bash command shell commands into a form where you're not supposed to be able to do that. And Metasploit is the all-purpose easy hacking tool that lets you run any kind of attack against vulnerable old versions of things. So we have a few of those. And then there's some networking. And then there's a bit about passwords and cryptography and some stuff at the end about Android, because I promised Android, but I really don't think in 4 hours, and very many people are going to want to get down to Android. But we'll see how you go. Now, that's the general overview of what we got here. So let me just demonstrate how this works. So you go to something like Binary Games, for example, and you've got a challenge here, like Nibbles. So you have to convert this to decimal, and that's 15, and this is also 15, that's 7. When you get enough of them right, you'll get a flag. When you get the flag, you go to Submit Flags. You notice you're doing H100, and this is H101. So you go to H101 is right there, so you just put in your name and the flag value, and you'll get on the scoreboard. This CTF is just there to make it fun to learn. It is not the kind of CTF like the DEF CON CTF where these challenges are brand new and really difficult and you gain great glory by solving them. These are, it's just to keep people interested that I made it in a CTF form. And so we'll help you. And I should tell you, I'm Sam Bown, and we should have Elizabeth and Caitlin here. If we look in the Zoom, I see that we have, thought I saw Caitlin in there.
I'm right here.
Okay, good. Yeah, I see you. Ah, good. There you are. Even faces.
Yes,
Good.
yes.
Human faces. These are experts. In fact, Liz is the one that teaches this class more often than I do these days. So anyway, we're here to help you if you get stuck. So this is the real basics where you learn fundamental command line and such. And to set up your cyber range, let me just point out, if you haven't used the Google Cloud, this may well be the most valuable thing you do here. Google gives you free cloud servers, and I use them almost all the time. I hardly ever use virtual machines anymore because this is so much better. You make a Gmail account, you connect it to a credit card. If you use only Linux machines, your credit card will not be charged. They give you $300 of free service. You just choose a few options off a menu, and you end up with a Linux machine. And so here's my Google Cloud instances. By the way, if you use up the $300, you just make another Gmail account and use the same credit card again and get another $300. I've done it about 20 times. So it's bloody awesome. And so you will get a Google Cloud platform. And as you see, I've got 3 Debian machines here. And all you do is you click SSH and you get an SSH shell into that machine so you can use it. It is wonderful. You don't even need an SSH client. Doesn't use any space on your hard drive. It doesn't matter what OS you're using. It all just runs right from your browser. The only problem is if you put stuff you value on a Google Cloud machine that's free and you let your trial expire, they'll just throw it all away, of course. So you can't really use it for production work or make sure you back up anything. But if you just want to do training, this is fantastic. For teachers, this is great. Your students can have good machines to use without any requirement for them to have a good operating system or power of their own machine. And they're also learning how to use the cloud, which is far more valuable than learning how to use local virtual machines. So I think I'm inclined to just shut up and let people work for a while. You need to get your range set up. If you want to do these basics, you can, or you can skip them if you feel like you know enough command line Linux and stuff to get by. And then you need to set up a range. And then you can start doing command injection, but I'll stop again and demonstrate that. So I'm going to stop this recording.